Vile are also joining us now at Religare Broking. Manoj, very good morning to you. What are you seeing on the charts right now? We slid back below 21,000 on the Nifty. Where are those resistance levels coming in?
Good morning. Now, it's not only the charts, we look a lot into the quantum of data and also the quant analysis. So, the equation that the market started the December series, excuse me, is there were short positions close to 60 to 68, 70 odd percent on the FIR desk. Now, that has come down to 40%. So, the net long that the FIRs have for this December series is around 60%, which is good enough. Now, there is the most important thing what we need to understand is the amount of derivative position which was there in November. They get rolled into the December series. So, that's not really a big move, because the money just gets rolled. The good part is if we see additional positioning which happens in the derivative side, and that gives a proportional rise into the open interest which happens into the Nifty. So let's say Nifty is almost at 1.3 crore in terms of open interest. So at least in the last 2 years where the FIs have been selling in the cash market and some buying in the derivative market. So that's exactly a reverse arbitrage way of taking out money. So that is happening since last 18 odd months. But the good part is at least on the DI side we are seeing good buying, and that is taken the Nifty almost to this 21,000. There is more room on the upside. The good part is it is the bank Nifty which is leading this time, and there is a ratio between both the indices. It's almost at 2.24. So the bank Nifty has room till 2.27. So we are expecting the Nifty to be a buy and dip. The target would be 21,300 in the next maybe 8 to 10 days. A better strategy is to do a bull call, sir. This is a position trade that we are expecting. Buy 21,000 next week, call option at 130, and you sell at 21,200, call option at 60. So the spread becomes around 70. The target is close to 150 to 180 on that. Now, intraday, if you see, Nifty futures has a good support somewhere close to 21,060. So that's a level we recommend going long, and that the stop loss should be, let's say, 60 points on the downside, 20,980, with a target closer to 21,200 intraday.
Manish, I'm going to come to you on consumption because we were talking about that just before the break.
Still with us, Mayuresh Joshi and Manoj Vile. Manoj, good morning. Neeraj here, and thanks for joining in during our opening weeks. Manoj, I heard you talk about your index view. What has stood out rock solid the last few days has been PSU banks. Even in a day which came off yesterday, PSU banks as an index too was in the green. Do you sense some optimism there from a trade perspective?
Good morning, Neeraj, and thanks for having me on the show. Now, the PSU and the private sector bank, they have a beautiful correlation which goes on with the bank Nifty, but unfortunately, if you see since almost September last year, this correlation has bottomed out, So the buying or the reflection of the positivity that we are seeing, the base of that has actually started in September, October. So almost it's a good 10 odd months that we have seen this. Now, if you ask me, is there more upside? Neither the net banking sector has a good positivity, because as I was saying, we are almost, if I have to just give you a bit more precise information, there is a mean correlation which happens between the Nifty and Bank Nifty, and that stands almost at 2.3 to 2.35. So we are almost at 2.24, which simply says that at least a 1500 to 1800 Bank Nifty points are still possible in the next maybe 20 to 30 odd days, post expiry also. So the target or the levels at which the Bank Nifty might seize or this outperformance might stop would be closer to only 49,500 odd. So we have a good 1,500 points at least on the Bank Nifty. And obviously, because the weightage of the PSU into the banking stocks is not more than at 20-24%, because private sector banks are more. So precisely if I have to talk, should we buy now? I would still say stick to the large cap banks because the alpha would be more there. But stock specific, let's say trading, there are other PSUs also, and couple of stocks, especially in the power sector where we are seeing good buying happening, and that is going on month on month. So Power Grid is one where, as a stock where we are seeing good delivery-based buying, and that accumulation is very neat, which has happened almost from 200 to 205 levels. The stock is almost at 230 now. The potential on the stock is almost at 240 to 250, which happens to be the target. The stop loss should be 216 on that.
Yeah. Manoj, since today is expiry day as well, what would be your strategy at this point? We have, a big queue coming in from the Fed. So how would you play it? What would you advise?
Right. So if you see, I guess the currency market is open and we have opened at 83.41 if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
So the reflection or maybe the anticipation is not much. But then what happens is when the trend is going on in an index like a bank nifty which is expiry today, which has an expiry today rather, it is the option data that plays more role because the Fed outcome would start really from tonight and the reflection would be more in the next couple of days. So 47,200 is a good level where we believe that you can buy a call option of bank nifty closer to that level when the futures dips to 47,200. You hold it on for the entire day and the target on that option can be a good 150 to 160 odd rupees. So if I just convert that into futures, you buy bank nifty closer to 47,200, keep a stop loss of maybe 100, 120 more points on the downside and the target can be 47,480 to 47,500 intraday.
Right. Manoj, stay with us. Mayuresh, one topic that we discussed in detail this morning was I want to quickly get your view on metals. Stock like Jindal Steel were very active in trade yesterday, but the dollar as well is looking a little soft, the dollar index, I mean. How would you approach commodities this morning?
Yeah, so at least on the stock like the Jindal Steel, we believe that the stock almost at 740 to 45 is a good level to go long. It has more potential, at least a target of 762 is what we are seeing. The stop loss here should be around close to 728. So like you said, yes, metals have been doing good and we topped the list with Jindal and Tata Steel, but then today with the momentum that we have seen, we believe that Jindal Steel would give you a good 16 more rupees with a stop loss close to 720 as a stock.
Okay. Let's get some more stocks in news, and the pharma pack is in focus. Varsha,
I would say the pharma stories that Varsha talked about. Mankind was, of course, block deals over there. We know now the details of who was selling. But Shilpa, Medicare and Laurus. And let me start with your take on Laurus, because we saw similar kind of news in DRL. It got hammered day one and then some amount of recovery. What are you, what is your play on Laurus?
Well, stock specific, even on sectors, we are very specifically focused only on the derivative trade, and I believe I would not really maybe trade into or volatile into that. But stock like granules, which is closer to 389, that becomes a better level to go long with stop loss of 380 and a potential target close to 396 on the stock from the pharma sector.
Mayuresh, what is pharma a little bit of a difficult play right now to figure out what to do with these companies, and what are you liking over here, if anything?
So, Manoj, before we thank you, a quick word on how have you seen the open, and is there any change in amongst the ideas that you recommended? Would you want to replace them? Would you want to add a new name because of the price movements that have already happened?
No, not really. On the Nifty side, even yesterday we see almost at 20,900, the bounce was quite swift. Now, obviously, because of expiry of the bank Nifty today, we would see some option writing happening. So we believe again that this 47,200 on the future should act as a good support. So closer to that level, that is where on the futures we expect buying a call option, and intraday we are expecting a good 200 to 250 odd point bounce on the bank Nifty today.
Right. Manoj, Mayuresh, what about you? What do you make of today's opening? It's a flat start.
Manoj, from amongst the names which are doing well, OMCs have a bit of a spurt today. Would you trade them?
Neither, see the rationale here is because of this bank Nifty expiry, obviously the money is all there, you will see more traction there. But then yes, if I have to still take, we are seeing some short covering in IOC, the stock is closer to 190. So that still becomes a good buy with the 116 stop loss. The stock has a potential of 126 to 127, but that's a positional call that we'll take. Again, the bank Nifty futures, I guess it's almost at 47,200, so we still about buying that with a stop loss of 200 for a target of 47,500.
Right. Thank you, Manoj. Those are a few stocks that are on Manoj's radar this morning. IOC on back of fruit.